Welcome back. You're watching Gravitas. Now, I want to shift your focus to Balochistan in Pakistan. As a part of our exclusive coverage here on WION about the situation in Balochistan tonight, I want us to base our discussion and debate not on any one story or ground report, but on voices from the ground. I'll play out 4 sound bites, all representing a point of view, as it were, but taken together forms a powerful narrative as a whole and would give you an insight into the life and times of the Baloch people. Now, joining me in the debate tonight are Mazdak Dilshad Baloch, a Baloch activist who joins us from New Delhi, and WION's own Pakistan correspondent Taha Siddiqui, who has just returned from his travels in Balochistan. Welcome to you both. First, I want to share with you what Nasrullah Baloch, the president of the Voice of Missing Baloch Persons, told our correspondent Taha Siddiqui. Let's listen in and then we'll open the debate.
कुछ लोग मिसिंग किया जाता है, उनको उठाया जाता है, तो उनके जो फैमिली मेंबर्स होते हैं वो बाकायदा हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास आ जाते हैं, एचआरसीपी के पास चले जाते हैं या फिर पुलिस स्टेशन चले जाते हैं, क्लेम करते हैं कि भाई हमारे घरों पे रात को छापे मारे गए, एफसी मतलब वहाँ पे बारी नफरी में आए हुए थे, उसमें उनके साथ सिविल ड्रेस में दूसरे लोग भी थे और एफसी की काफ़ी गाड़ियाँ मौजूद थी और वहाँ से लोग हमारे प्यारों को उठा के ले गया है। बाद में फिर वो उन्हीं लोगों के हवाले से जो वो क्लेम करते बाकायदा ये रिपोर्टेड चीज़ें हैं, हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ है, एचआरसीपी के पास भी उनकी डिटेल्स मौजूद है। फिर 6-7 महीना गुजर जाता है, फिर उन लोगों को इश्तिहारी करार दिया।
Right. Coming to you, Mazdak, I'm going through the text of the soundbite that Nasrullah Baloch had to say there. Now, as an ethnic Baloch, Mazdak, how serious is the problem of people missing, just going missing, disappearing altogether?
Thank you. First of all, the problem is that what all we can see out here are the numbers.
Right.
We also that more than 20,000 people are missing. Just in February, the data came in, and it's more than 200 people have gone missing just in the month of February.
Right.
And more than 42 people were martyred. So this problem is very grave. A slow genocide is being going on in Balochistan, and they're targeting people, they're picking them up. Now, especially they're targeting women and children and families of political activists, families of people who are raising voice for the missing persons. And this is getting more and more worse day by day.
Right. Taha, coming to you now, there we heard Nasrullah speak about the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan. Now, how effective is it as a body? Because we just heard Mazdak call it a quote-unquote slow genocide. Taha?
Well, Human Rights Commission of Pakistan has released a lot of reports on the said subject. But definitely we do know that when it comes to human rights violations, we see Pakistan committing them, the Pakistani state committing them in many parts of the country, not just including in this Balochistan, but in the tribal belt also. We do know about how they treat the militancy over there. We do know that the Pakistani state by the Pakistani state, it's usually the Pakistan military that's involved in it. And then the fact is that, even the human rights observers or human rights activists are not allowed to go into these places, get a true sense of the picture, get a real idea of what's going on. So at most of the time, what we get to hear is probably just on the surface. And when you scratch the surface, you see below it, there's a lot of this sort of human rights abuse going on.
Right. And Mazdak, how do you view Pakistan Army's role in these forced disappearances?
This is the Pakistan Army is doing. Whatever is happening, the strategy, how to enslave the Baloch people and how to use different tactics on Baloch people, this is all organized, planned out by the Pakistani Army. They are the forces on ground, and Pakistan Army is using their own force, and also they're using their proxies.
Right. Hold your thought, gentlemen. Let us now play a second bite, that of Aga Hassan Baloch, the Information Secretary of Balochistan National Party Mengal Group.
जो खौफ है कि भी इस बड़ी यानी तरक्की के जो रेल पे होगा उससे हम कहीं हम अक्सर अक़लियत में तब्दील ना हो, तब वो उस तरक्की को अपना तरक्की समझकर इसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे। जितने भी ऑपरेशन हुए इन 5 ऑपरेशन हुए अब तक बलोचों को सफ़ाई से नहीं मिटा सके, तो इतना नुकसान हुआ। अब उन्हें चाहिए कि वो हालात को समझें, ताकत को सहारा नहीं बनाएं, बल्कि मामलात को बलोच जो मेजर्स इश्यूज़ हैं उनको एड्रेस करें, लोगों को कौमी दायरे में लाने के लिए इक़दामात करें।
Mazdak, there we heard Aga Hassan Baloch, the Information Secretary of the BNPM. Now, coming to you, Mazdak, how genuine are the fears that Pakistan is attempting to change the demography of Balochistan?
They've tried it from day one. Since they occupied Balochistan, they started bringing in settlers from other provinces of Pakistan, and they tried because Baloch people don't have that big of a population as compared to Punjab. So they wanted to bring in more and more people from other provinces. Now they're bringing Chinese there. Chinese are there already. They're building a cantonment there. Their submarines are in Gwadar already. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn the Baloch people into a minority, and they want to use the land, use the resources. And actually the fight is not of the resources and development. The fight is of freedom. The basic problem was the occupation of Balochistan, and then the other problems come in after that. So as Agha Sahab was saying regarding that Qaumi Dhara, the word that is used. So Baloch already is a nation. It doesn't need to come in and merge into another fake nation, or one that is fabricated by the British. So it's one nation occupied by another nation, and one nation which is forcing a genocide by another army just because it has plenty of resources, and just because it's outnumbered, and just because there is no one in the world to support us.
Right.
But doesn't make it right.
Okay, all right. Quickly, Taha, would you agree with some of Mazdak's observations there? I mean, how widespread or rampant is the use of force by the military on the Baloch?
Well, definitely that's the option that they only use. I mean, we see some sort of, at times, some kind of, photo ops, in the sense that they will say that some rebels are giving up arms, and then we'll see these ceremonies happening where they'll be like the rebels are coming back into sort of, they're giving up arms and they want to join back the Pakistani sort of state.
Right.
But most of the time when we investigate, we find out that these are just photo ops and they're just done for the media. In fact, I mean, we've seen that over the last 30, 40 years, the Pakistan military has just used the option of force. I mean, even though sometimes we hear about dialogue and we hear about the fact that they are trying to do dialogue, but
right.
That's usually from the civilian side. The civilian government, the civilian leadership wants to do dialogue, but because the military controls the policy when it comes to Balochistan,
right.
So the civilian advice is not paid any heed.
All right, fair enough. Now I want to play out for you another point of view. Take a listen.
हर तबके के अफराद हमारे साथ हैं, वो कला बिरादरी से हो या मीडिया के लोग हो या इसके अलावा ताजिर बिरादरी हो या इस तरह दिगर कबायली रहनुमा हो, सारे तकरीबन इंशाअल्लाह ताला अज़ीज़ हमने पूरे बलूचिस्तान में उम्मीदवार खड़े किए, और फिर कभी GUIF के, और तो कभी जनाब मुस्लिम लीग नून के, तो कभी पीपल्स पार्टी के, हमने उनकी हिमायती की और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वो जीते हैं और हमारे वोट से ही जीते हैं। देखिए, एक तो है कि हम अहले सुन्नत वल जमात के हैसियत से मज़हब के तौर पर हम पहचाने जाते हैं, लोग हमारे कारकर्दगी से मुतमईन हैं, लोग हम पे एतमाद कर रहे हैं। गुज़िश्ता इलेक्शन में भी लोगों ने हम पे बहुत एतमाद किया है और आने वाला इलेक्शन में भी इंशाअल्लाह लोग हम पे एतमाद करेंगे।
Mazdak, is there anything called a civil society in Balochistan, and is it at all thriving?
No, there's no such thing there in Balochistan. Even in Pakistan as a whole, the only rule is army's rule. There's army's might. which is being used, even like people such as Sabine Mahmood, or journalists or bloggers who are talking against or who are speaking up against the atrocities of army, even if they're Punjabis, they're not, they're also facing the same fate as the Baloch people. And let alone the Baloch people, they're already facing, they've already faced force from day one since 1948. And right now, there's no one who's talking for the Baloch people there.
Right.
Even there's a minority who's talking for the Baloch people or speaking up.
Right.
There's might being used against them, and there is no civil government, there's no civil society, nothing of that case is alive there. Yeah.
All right, Taha, how does sectarianism or sectarian strife or interests play itself out in Balochistan, especially in local politics?
Well, we've seen that in the last few years, this is a new strategy that the Pakistani state has employed in Balochistan, in the sense that they have started introducing Sunni extremist groups and giving them a free hand. Madrasas, religious seminaries have sort of propped up everywhere, especially in the southern part of Balochistan. You won't see good roads, you won't see a good hospital, but you'd see a shiny marble constructed madrasa. And usually, and at these madrasas and these seminaries, they teach a very hardliner version of Islam, Sunni hardliner version, Wahhabi sort of Islam. And this is basically, from when I talk to people, when I talk to analysts, they say that it is because of the fact that they want to use the idea of Islamizing the youth and bringing them back into sort of believing with the idea of Pakistan and being with the Pakistani state, given the fact that Pakistan considers itself as an Islamic republic. And because of this strategy that the state has been employing, there has been a fallout in the sense that we've seen a lot of sectarian violence in the province on the rise. We're seeing Shias being killed. We saw Sufi shrines being attacked. So this is sort of a fallout. But given the fact that the Baloch youth are being Islamized and radicalized and forgetting about the insurgency and the rebellion, it's sort of a thing that they play and a cost that they have to pay for it.
Right. And before we play out the fourth and the last soundbite, I want to quickly recap for the benefit of viewers. We listened to Nasrullah Baloch there, the Agha Hassan Baloch, the Information Secretary of the BNPM, and also a right-wing party. Now, to the fourth and last quote, that of Raza Vakil, a Shia community leader. Let's listen.
बलोच इलाकों में मदरसों का बिल्कुल नाम निशान नहीं था। अब हम देखते हैं कि एक ही गांव में करोड़ों रुपए के एक नहीं बल्कि 6-7 मदरसे हैं। आप कराची से निकले मकरान की तरफ जाएं, आपको देखेंगे कि बहुत से छोटे से एरिया में इंतहाई ज़्यादा खर्चे पर बनाए गए कई मदरसे हैं। तो लाजमी बात है इन मदरसों को बनाया भी इसीलिए गया है ताकि एक ये जो जितने भी पॉलिसियाँ हैं, जिन मदरसों में ये तरबियत दी जा रही है, इस तरह की जो जहनियत जिस तरह जहाँ क्रिएट की जा रही है, मेंटालिटी जहाँ क्रिएट की जा रही है, उन पर हमारी हुकूमत का अभी तक कोई नज़र नहीं कि किन मदरसों में किन इलाकों में ये मदरसे कायम है और उनमें किस तरह लोगों को रिलीजियस एक्सट्रीमिज्म की तरफ ले जाया जा रहा है। बुनियादी बात तो ये है।
Mazdak, is Baloch society radicalized beyond repair? I mean, beyond redemption, as it were? Or is there hope yet?
No, it's not the case yet. Luckily, the Baloch society and the Baloch civilization has been very secular from day one. It was built on the basis of equality and equity. Still, you can see other Baloch from other religions living in Balochistan with peace. But this is a tool, actually, which is being used by Pakistan to increase the religious extremism, especially if you can see the last visit of Hafiz Saeed to Balochistan. There's a lot of money being poured into Balochistan, a lot of like Hafiz Saeed might be in house arrest, but his team is very actively working in Balochistan. They're trying to use that mindset that they've used in Afghanistan, that they've used in Bangladesh, that they're using in India. extremize the youth and turn them away from their national struggle into this some kind of a jihadi myth. They're using ISIS. ISIS is present in Balochistan. There are other jihadi groups. There are jihadi groups in name and shape of Shafiq Mengal and other people who are also tribals there, who are also local people who are being turned into jihadis to fight the Baloch and to fight other proxy wars of Pakistan. So Balochistan is also being used as a ground to nurture and manufacture Baloch. And just as the other friend said, you will see madrasas in Balochistan where there is no population around them for kilometers. And you won't understand what is the use of that huge building, who funded that building, who is running this building, and who is studying in that building.
All right, fair enough. So I want to give the last word to Taha. Now, Taha, in your travels in Balochistan, did you encounter youths, ordinary men or women who may have aspirations of leading a better life, of not being confined to conservatism? Taha?
Definitely. I mean, the Baloch have been marginalized, and the way they've been dealt with, there are a lot of grievances. And even now with the China-Pakistan economic corridor, there's this sort of myth that is being sold to them that it will change their destiny. But locals were telling me that already they're seeing, for example, in Gwadar port, already it's a parameter where locals are not allowed, the Chinese are allowed, because of security concerns, because Baloch are a security threat. Also, the road that is going to be being built through Balochistan, it's going to be guarded by the Pakistan military, and they're going to be military convoys everywhere. And so it'll be people looking at wealth going on these roads, being transferred right in front of them, and their conditions will remain the same as we've seen before. And the rich will get richer, and the poor will get nothing again.
All right, fair enough. On that note, I want to thank Mazdak Dilshad Baloch and Taha Siddiqui for coming onto this debate tonight. Time for a short break. More news on the other side. Stay tuned to Gravitas.